Good morning. Please join with us as we sing together our hymn, O Come, Emmanuel.
Good morning, everyone. Please be seated. Welcome, everyone, to worship at First Unitarian Church. We are here in Portland, Oregon. Congregants gathered here in our sanctuary. Welcome to all of you joining us online this morning. Our mission in this congregation is to nurture the individual spirit and together to work towards building the beloved community. Welcome to this special music and worship service. In particular, I want to welcome one special participant, Naima Lightseed, a local artist, will be part of this service this morning. Yes. We are in the holiday season, and I want to remind you of some of the special holiday services coming up this month. On December 21st, we will have our annual winter solstice service, when we will mark the longest night of the year, as well as the return of the light and longer days. That service will be at 7 p.m. on December 21st, in person here and also virtual. On Christmas Eve, December 24th, we will have two services. There will be a family service at 4 p.m. that will be live stream only, and we will have a candlelight at 8 p.m. that will be in person here as well as live stream. To register to attend in person that evening, sign up through the church website. A reminder that many of you brought hats and other donations for our holiday drives with you, There are now places in the narthex to leave those. Thank you for your generosity in donating those. You can do that after the service as well. If you are joining us via live stream this morning, you're invited to attend a virtual social hour after the service. You'll see a QR code on the screen at the end of the service that will take you there. So, as we gather together this morning, let's take a moment to greet each other. And if you're watching online and you have access to a chat option, I invite you to greet your neighbors that way. Let's greet our neighbors. Good morning, Warren. Good to see you. I will light the flame of our chalice here in the chancel this morning. If you have a chalice or a candle at home, I invite you to light it now. We are Unitarian Universalists. We light this chalice in faith, in hope, and in love. Our call to worship this morning is by Francisco Alarcón. May our ears hear what nobody wants to hear. May our eyes see what everyone wants to hide. May our mouths speak our true faces and hearts. May our arms be branches that give shade and joy. Let us be a drizzle, a sudden storm. Let us get wet in the rain. Let us be the key, the hand, the door, the kick, the ball, the road. Let us arrive as children to this huge playground, the universe. Come now and let us worship here together. I invite you to join as we sing together in the depths of winter's darkness. Good work, everyone. We did it. Please remain standing for our responsive reading. It's by Naja Zabin. We spend our lives chasing after what will make our lives meaningful. We run, not knowing where we're going. We want to find meaning in something, somewhere, inside of someone. And only once we stop searching for meaning will we find that the answers have been within us before we even started running. Let's sing together now our doxology, Spirit of Life.
This morning's offering will be collected to support the First Unitarian operating budget, which allows services like these to occasionally center music in the worship life of this congregation. You have shown appreciation for how the music from this chancel has touched your lives in so many ways, and we are so grateful. This is just one more way you can show your support. If you are joining this morning via live stream and wish to give, you may click the Donate Now button on Boxcast or use the QR code that will soon appear on the screen. Those of you who are here in person are invited to turn to the information card in the back of the seat in front of you, which has a web address and a QR code that you can use. If you would like to give this morning via check or cash, you may do so at the end of the service. You'll see ushers there in the back with baskets to receive your offering. And one other layer this morning. We are grateful again today to have Naima Lightseed with us, creating in real time artistic visual responses to the music we have all come to share. Naima is allowing us to auction each of these pieces this morning to benefit the music ministry of our congregation. If you'd like to participate in the auction, you can pull out your phone at any time. No one's going to smack your hand. And go to tinyurl.com/first1stu-mw. It's right there on the screen for you to see. You might want to jot it down or take a picture of it now because it will disappear. Again, tinyurl.com/firstu-mw. The bidding starts at $200 per piece, and the auction will close at 2 p.m. Pacific today. However you choose to give this morning, we are honored and we are grateful. Thank you.
We make space each week in our service for the concerns of our community life together. A reminder that you can send prayer requests to be held by our ministers and lay ministers to prayer@firstunitarianportland.org, or you can write them down and deposit them in one of the prayer urns in our side galleries. And if you'd like an intention named here in the service, send that to parishconcerns@firstunitarianportland.org. And a note that this season that is in so many ways about joy can also be a time that is difficult in so many ways for many of us. That can include having the financial resources we need to make it through this season. A reminder that we have a congregant care fund, formerly known as the Emergency Fund, to help people who might be struggling financially. If you are in need, I hope that you will reach out. You can contact one of the ministers or you can call the church office. We have quite a number of concerns to share this morning. Marshall Housed, grandfather of member Adam House, died peacefully in his sleep on Monday after a weekend spent with his family. Marshall was 87 years old. In Adam's words, his quiet, wry wit and his warm spirit will be missed. Adam is a member of our Board of Trustees. We hold Joey Moeller, who was one of our sextons. Joey's grandmother, Mary Ann Havlick, died on December 3rd. She was 82 and a lifelong resident of Mount Angel, Oregon. Joey says his grandmother spent much of her time in service to her community, whether she was volunteering for her son's grade school class, delivering mail at the Benedictine Nursing Center, or assisting with matters at St. Mary's Parish, where she was a devout member. Joey says she loved music and traveling and was known to open her home to anyone who needed a place to sleep after partying a little too hard at Oktoberfest in Mount Angel, that she enjoyed so dearly. And Abigail Klaus, our affiliated community minister here, asked that we recognize the death this morning of Matthew P. Taylor, a beloved friend and fellow Unitarian Universalist ministerial colleague. Matthew was a student at Star King School, where they served as student body president. Matthew was also serving as an intern minister at the UU congregation in Rockville, Maryland. They were also an important leader and ministerial presence in blue and in drum. In Abigail's words, to know Matthew was to know their booming laugh, their mystic heart, their way of making people feel wholly loved and known, and their deep commitment to collective liberation. We hold Matthew's family and friends, those grieving Matthew in this congregation, and the many UUs and other communities struggling with this heartbreaking news. This morning, we also hold Barry Sutton, who has been a part of this community for many, many years. Barry has been in Good Samaritan Hospital for close to 3 weeks now after coming close to dying of hypothermia on the street. Barry has a long recovery ahead of him, but looks forward to being back in church as soon as he can. Barry asks for our prayers as he recovers and as he heals. Finally, this morning, we hold and offer our prayers for all those affected by the devastating tornadoes that swept through the South and the Midwest on Friday night, killing scores of people and leaving a terrible path of destruction in its wake. We all hold all those affected as they mourn, as they rebuild, as they carry on. Will you join me now in prayer? Spirit of life and of love, God of many names and of no name at all, be with us this day and with all the intentions, all the prayers we bring. In this season of Advent, help us, Spirit, as we find our way in the midst of mourning lives lost, our way in the midst of gratitude for lives lived well, our prayers for those who struggle just to survive, our prayers for our warming planet and what the future might hold. In this time of Advent, this time of waiting, this time of anticipating, help us to make space to listen. Help us to make space to be still. In a world where there is much to trouble, help us to find a space to hear that still small voice and what it might be asking of us in this time. To be with those who have the least, to be with those who are most afraid, to be with those who would dare to imagine a world where justice can be real, to imagine a world where all your children, Spirit, have what it is they need, to imagine where all your children know they are loved, where all your children might know joy. Help us, Spirit, to imagine such a world. Help us, all of us together, to nurture such a world and to help bring that world into being, a world worthy of the name Beloved. Amen. Let's be together now for a few moments of silence. Let's sing together now, Shine on Me. A reading by Bo Taplin, The Ascent. Perhaps you are not yet where you feel you should be, but from one dreamer to another, a careful word of advice. You could reach every last one of your goals and still find yourself unfulfilled at the finish line. The true essence of life exists in the in-between. It is in striving that your excellence is exposed to the world. It is in the setbacks that the strength of your spirit is learned. In the unfinished dream lies the full and burning heart of life. It is only a spell of the mind, an artful deception, that you might find fulfillment in fortune, fame, protection, or power. Life is lived here, in the distance you have still left to travel. This is where the true magic happens.
pastores, dicite, annunciate nobis, interis, quis apparuit, natum fidimus, et coros angelorum, collaudantes Dominum. Queris pastores, dicite, annunciate nobis, interis, quis apparuit, natum fidimus, et coros angelorum, gloriagantes Dominum. Dicite quid nam, didistis, Christi, nativitate, dicite quid nam, didistis, nativitate, Christis pastores, dicite, annunciate nobis, interis, quis apparuit, natum fidimus, et coros angelorum, gloriagantes Dominum.
Words of Ariel Astoria, what the world needs. The world needs healers now more than ever. Don't look around searching for them. Do not see if someone stands behind you, cape ready and in position. Look inward. You, my friend, are and have always been the healer. Look at your hands, the holders, your feet, the movers. Do you know of the voids in this world because you have yet to fill them? Do you know of the doors that still stand shut tight, absent of light, because you have not yet grasped that you have always been the key, your existence the remedy? See, this is no individual burden. We have burned down our own islands. Now there is only one, and here on this island where there is you and there is me, where we are all the healers this world needs, it is here that we declare with each passing day that we will be people who strive to become more kind, more aware, and more loving, that we may be people full of audacious hope, the light carriers when the shadows close in, the music makers when the world goes dim, the feelers when hearts grow numb. We will be the steady bump of life orbing through all of humanity. Perhaps all this chaos because we have failed to see we have been the healers all along. Let us join now in singing. Let's sing together, "Prepare the Way, O Zion." As we go forth into this day with all of its beauty and with all of its brokenness, may we remember that we have been the healers all along. This is the day we've been given. Let us rejoice in it and be glad. Go in peace. Practice love. Amen.
in excelsis Deo, Alleluia, Gloria in excelsis Deo, Hodie Christus natus est, Hodie Salvator apparui, Hodie in terra canum angeli, letantur arcangeli, Hodie exultant justitia gentes, Gloria in excelsis Deo, Alleluia, Alleluia, Hodie Christus natus est, Hodie Salvator apparui, Hodie in terra canum angeli, letantur arcangeli, Hodie exultant justitia gentes, Gloria in excelsis Deo, Alleluia, Gloria in excelsis Deo, Alleluia, 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 Gloria in excelsis Deo, Alleluia, Gloria in excelsis Deo, Gloria in excelsis Deo,